Hello house lovers and welcome 2021. It's time to review the year that was. Yes, house lovers, the new year is always a time for reflection, and as this year has been very reflection worthy, I thought it's time for me to have a little look at all that has happened in the brilliant Bonaccord house over the last 12 months since I started this humble channel and since I began the masterpiece that is the renovation, restoration, extension, reinvigorating of Bonaccord house. The other thing about a house of this age is, of course, its history. And do you remember here? This is the old presidential suite, and that is the shadow of a doorway that used to go through to the building next door, which was a pub. And I discovered so much about that. First up, let's hear from Nellie Noon. Nellie was quite a woman around town. She crops up in the police records from the turn of the century to 1915 was the last time I was able to find her. She ran this house and she was applying for the license of the pub next door in 1908. And she had these things to say. He said that a notorious house called Bonaccord had been conducted by women. As a matter of fact, it's been 2 years or more since this house, Bonaccord, was badly conducted. And it has not been conducted by women in my time. It was already part of the Royal Standard Hotel next door when I took over this place some 9 months ago. Inspector Mooney said, next door to this hotel, a notorious house called Bonaccord had been conducted by women, and recently this house had been included in the hotel and a doorway cut through the wall. Nellie Noon will be a name that we constantly conjure up in regards to this house because I think she is going to be our guardian spirit and fairy angel looking over us from afar. And to that end, we have got the lovely Dame Julie Bates, who you might remember from this very early interview. Enter stage left, Dame Julie Bates.
Oh, thank you very much. I had to say it's an honour to be here, Matthew. A total honour. I can visualise this big grand salon that we're standing in, you know, bathed in the glow of magenta.
Dame Julie, will you come and bless the house for us?
Wild horses couldn't make me stay away, whatever they say. And so I said, I've got my first gig. It's in Melbourne. It's to bless an old brothel.
And she is going to come and bless the house when it is finally finished, as she is a 21st century advocate for sex worker rights, which seems appropriate that she comes to bless this house that has had, let's just say, a shady past. Another favourite moment, discovering with the gorgeous help of Leslie Lauder what this mantelpiece was actually made of. Leslie Lauder, professional opinion, what do you think?
When I first saw this, I assumed it was a typical mid-19th century timber mantelpiece, but of course when you feel it and look at it carefully, it's not. Lo and behold, when I look at the stripping you've done here,
Judicious stripping.
very judicious stripping, but what's very impressive is that this whole mantelpiece is made of slate.
Slate. Yes, slate. Isn't it fabulous? And this is going to be the good doctor and I's bedroom. And as a little sidebar, I have discovered an old family business run by two sisters who've inherited it. The business is 150 years old, who specialise in the removing of stone mantelpieces, removing, cleaning, restoration and reinserting. So I can get this taken off, all the cleaning finished, it can be polished, it can be stored while we're building and then reinstated. So more on that later. Another favourite moment, yes, wallpaper. Discovering all the different types of wallpaper lurking underneath the manky paint of Bonaccord house. And since that episode, what I have discovered is that a lot of these wallpapers were actually called sanitary paper, which sounds exactly what it's not, but anyway, which was basically fairly inexpensive mass-produced wallpaper in sheets. I'll put the link of the wonderful woman who is a wallpaper restorer and conservationist and wallpaper guru who I found in London, who was very helpful and very happy to give me all of her insights via Instagram. And yet another moment was Demolition. Now, I'm not sure if you remember, but in this room, there used to be, following the line of that shadow, a freestanding bathroom. And here is suite number 6. And this was the room that had its palatial ensuite. And to be honest, house lovers, I hadn't ever really demolished anything before. And this was the first major bit of demolition that I considered, and I must say it kind of gave me a bit of a taste for destruction, let us just say. But what it did give me was the confidence to then have a look at everything I could do in the house, which has ultimately, of course, saved us money, because all the demolition and removal that I have done, we are not being charged by the hour for the builders to do. So it has been double plus good, because I have achieved something, learned something, tested myself, pushed myself, and saved money, which is more than two things, but whatever. And my last favorite thing, which is perhaps the most important, has been all of the cunning removal, saving, recycling, upcycling of all the waste from the house. Remember how this used to be Mattie's sanitation graveyard? All of those things have gone to a greater place. Well, house lovers, here I am in a sea of old gas stoves. So if you want a gas stove, give me a call. Well, the great news is that there has been literally a feeding frenzy for my bathroom appliances. And the fact that I have been able to reduce the amount of waste that we create from this renovation has made me feel very good about myself. But also about the impact that the build on this house is going to have, because when the builders come in, they're going to be producing a huge amount of waste. And I did research back when I was first doing all this about the amount of tonnage that's produced every year by the building industry of landfill waste, and it's pretty alarming. So it might be a tiny thing, but I've done my bit to try and reduce that by reusing all of the reusable materials in this house and giving them away to people who are going to either recycle them or use them in a new and wonderful manner. So that, house lovers, is, I think, perhaps the greatest achievement for me for 2020. There we are, house lovers. The year is done. Hopefully the new year is going to bring us our planning approval, which means we can actually begin the building of the project. There are also many people I want to see and to get to talk to about the house. The first cab off the rank, I think, is going to be the marble mantelpiece restorers. That's going to be interesting. But until then, house lovers, take care. Happy New Year. 2021 can only get better. Let's hope. Thank you so much for watching this year. Thank you for your comments and feedback and likes and all that jazz. I hope this year is going to be as interesting. I've had fun, which is all that really matters. So until next week, which is also next year, take care, house lovers, and I'll see you soon.